Consumerism is rotting away your self-esteem without yourself even knowing. All right, hear me out, guys. I know this point might sound a bit extreme at first, but trust me, I've had more than my share of that experience. And I am sure that everyone here sitting in this room today has felt the same way before at one point in their life. So, as a senior grade high school student, I've always had a special interest in the field of arts and crafts. And through the process, through the trials and errors of acquiring these skills, I believe I've learned something. And I am here to share what I learned with you guys today. And that is, human creation could be the end to consumerism. So before I explain more on why I think this way, how about let's look at what consumerism is first. Consumer culture, it can come in many different types. As humans, as living beings, we always need to consume, of course, in order to survive. Such as when we eat, when we drink, when we wear clothes, when we find a safe place to sleep. These are all examples of consumerism. And that is perfectly okay, because it is the basis of our survival. But what isn't okay is when these behaviors become too excessive, such as when you eat too much, when you sleep too much. These could cause serious harm with yourself and your relationship around others. Here's an example of me when I was 11 years old. At the time, there was an ongoing trend online about blind boxes. And for those who don't know what blind boxes are, they're basically plastic figurines that were put into these solid packagings so you can't see what's in there. And that sort of adds kind of like a thrill of gambling that just regular toys cannot give you. And the way it promotes itself is through the internet and influencers, which urges you to collect all the different designs that it pushes out. And if you don't, well, then you're not keeping up with the trends. You're kind of lame. And that was the sort of mindset I had after watching my favorite YouTubers talk about the blind boxes. So I wanted to collect them all. But here's the catch. One single blind box is $20 each. And if I wanted to collect them all, if I wanted to get the entire set, it's going to be way up in the hundreds. And my parents would never agree to buy me those because it's so expensive. So every time I walk past a toy store and see the people in there happily buying the blind box toys, all I could do is look through the windows and sulk. But that all changed one day. And I still remember it was a Friday afternoon. I just came home from school. And guess what was sitting on my kitchen counter? One big, familiar box. And my mom, she was standing right beside it. And that box contained the entire set of my favorite brand of blind box toys. Surprise, my mom said. I noticed that you really wanted these, so I went ahead and bought it for you. Come on, open it up right now. And so I did. My heart raced, I grinned from ear to ear. I was like a little girl who got her first Christmas present. I ripped open the packages, and that was when I realized something felt wrong. The materials made into these toys felt cheap and flimsy. The paint job was also awfully done. And that was when I realized, no, my mom, she didn't buy the exact same brand of toys that were sold in toy stores. And instead, she bought the cheaper off-brand versions online. I felt angry. I felt disappointed. And even betrayed because I thought my mom lied to me by buying such fake products. I didn't end up opening all of the packages. And the toy that my mom planned for me just to make me happy ended up taking an extra space in the attic, collecting dust. Years later, I reflected on my actions back then. And I wondered why I acted that way. So I decided to do some research. And it turns out platforms such as television ads and social media is directly linked to extreme consumer behavior, as it constantly pushes out trends, telling you to do this, do that, buy this, buy that. And if you don't, well, you'll get comments like, hello, do you live under a rock? What are you, some kind of social outcast? And that, of course, will create anxiety for those who cannot keep up with the trends. Just like when I got all mad at my mom because she didn't buy me the exact same brand of dolls that I wanted. And some may wonder, well, Rebecca, how do you solve this problem before it does serious harm on ourselves and our loved ones? Well, I think the answer is simple. Try creating something yourself. Allow me to explain. Consumerism, it thrives on speed. As we can see from the way it promotes itself using short-form videos and influencers. Meanwhile, human creation is the exact opposite of that. When you're writing, when you're drawing, when you're making music, you're slowing things down and taking things one at a time. And you don't even have to create some sort of high effort artwork. Like, you're not Vincent van Gogh, but just cooking yourself a nice, warm, hearty meal is already a much better change from your speed-driven routines. Human creation can also create a more solid sense of self because it gives you time to actually reflect on your present, on what you're doing. And also gives you a chance for you to figure out what you like and what you dislike. And I'm gonna mention my mother again. So my mom, she's amazing at making rice cakes. And ever since I was a kid, she would often cook them for me. And so one day, I decided to recreate the recipes myself. And boy, was it a painful process. I had to make everything from scratch. I had to mix the batters. I had to steam them and then take them out, shape them. And do you know how much it burns when you touch the steamed batter? But anyways, it took me a while, but I managed to finish making them. And I know it is so much more efficient and so much quicker if I just ran to a local supermarket and quickly grabbed a pack. But the end result of me making that rice cake by myself, it just felt so much more rewarding. Because I know that by doing this, I am taking a piece of my family history and traditions with me. So, what I wanted you to take away from this speech here today is that the next time you want to scroll through one more video, you want to eat one more piece of chip, you want to buy that jacket online that you knew you weren't going to wear much, just stop. Take a deep breath and think about it. Does this really make you happy? Is this really what you wanted to do for the rest of your life? Instead of watching other people's online living their own life, you can document your own by filming your own videos. Instead of eating junk food, try recreating healthier versions at home. Instead of clicking that buy now on the jacket that you saw, look through your local thrift stores or upcycle the old jackets so that you can make something that you'll actually wear. And I know that we all want to be the best version of ourselves. And instead of paying others to make it for you, take it to your own hands and create your own wonderful future. My name is Rebecca Chen, and remember, keep creating. Thank you for listening.